Let's continue to question 7. Question 7 says, given that root 2 is equal to 1.414, root 3 is equal to 1.732, and root 5 is equal to, let me write that one, root 5 is equal to 2.236. The question says, in A, we should evaluate each of the following two. We should evaluate each of the following and give our answers correct to 3 significant figures. So question A is 10 over root 2. 10 over root 2. 10 over root 2. First thing, we rationalize the denominator. That's 10 over root 2 times root 2. Let me manage my space better. That's 10 over root 2 times root 2 over root 2. So, let me divide this page. It's equal to 10 root 2. 10 times root 2 on this side is 10 root 2. Then root 2 times root 2 is what? Root 2 times 2. I'm going to stop writing that step later, since you know it well now. So this is 10 over root 4. Exactly. 10 over root 4. 10 root 2 over root 4 is the same thing as 10 root 2 over 2. 2 in 10, 5. That gives me 5 root 2. 2 here 1, 2 here 5. That gives me 5 root 2. So to evaluate 5 root 2 now, with the 5 times 1.414. 5 times 1.414, that's 70. That's 7.070. But the question says we should evaluate to 3SF. That would be 7.07 to 3 significant figures. So that's my answer to 3 significant figures. So let's go to the second question. Question 7b says we should evaluate 8 over root 3. As you know, let me split my page here. As you know, 8 over root 3 will be written as 8 over root 3 times root 3 over what? Root 3 to rationalize. That gives me 8 root 3 over root 9. So that's 8 root 3 over 3. Square root of 9 is 3. 8 root 3, that's 8 times 1.732 over 3. Let's use our calculator to find that. 8 times 1.732 divided by 3. That's 4.6187. That's 4.6187. Now, 4.6187 is the same thing as 4.62 to 3 significant figures. So take note of that approximation, because it always carries its own separate marking. Your questions. Question C says we should simplify and evaluate 12 root 5. 12 root 5, first thing I'm supposed to do here is write my 12 root 5 as what? As what? 12. Sorry, write my 12 over root 5 as 12 over root 5 times root 5 over root 5. What I'm doing here is rationalization. That gives me 12 root 5 over what? Root 5 times 5. Let's be fast. That's 12 root 5 over root 25. So that's 12 root 5 over root 25 is 5. So 12 root 5 over 5. Since I know the value of 12 root 5, I'll simplify. 12 times 2.236 divided by 5. That's my answer. 12 times 2.236 divided by 5. That gives me 5.3664. So that's 5.3664. To write that in 3SF, I need to take only 3 significant figures. The first one, the second one, and the third one. I'll make the rest 0. But to make this 0, since this 6 is up to 5 or more, so I'll make it 1 and add it to this. That gives me 5.37. So I can change the rest to 0 if I like, to 3 significant figures. That's my answer to 3SF. Take note of those simplifications. The last one is 15 over root 2d. 15 over what? Root 2. Now, in 15 over root 2, what I need to do is very simple. Let me split this page not to, waste anything. So that's 15 over root 2 times root 2 over what? Root 2. So that's 15 root 2 over what? Root 2 times 2. Here, root 2 times root 2 is the same thing as root 2 times root 2 is the same thing as root 2 times 2. So that gives me 15 root 2 over root 4. The square root of 4 is 2. So that's 15 root 2 over 2. So I know the value of root 2. Go to the next page. 15 times 1.414 divided by 2. Press your calculator. Divided by 2. That's 15 times 1.414. 15 times 1.414 divided by 2. That gives me 10.605. 10.605. 10.605. To write this in 3SF, I'll take 1, take 0. They are all significant, and take 6. The rest will not be counted. So 10.6 to 3SF, or 10.600 more correctly, to 3 significant figures. So that's my answer to 3SF. I'll give a classwork here that you should, practice with. Answer these questions yourself. Exercise. Using these same values, simplify 8 over root 2. Simplify and evaluate, leaving your answers in 3SF. 8 over root 2, 4 over root 3, 3 over 2 root 5. Let me make it up to 10. 4, 5 over root 3, or let's make it 15 over root 3, 5, 6 over root 2, 6, 16 over root 2, 7, 18 over 5, 18 over 5 root 2, 8, 9 over root 3, 9, 4 over 5 root 12, and 10, 6 over 5 root 5. So answer this as your exercise.